Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss another example for join, where we will firstly discuss over the data that we have inside our table, and then we'll understand the requirement. And as per the requirement, we will write our query from scratch. Okay, so let's see the data first. So for this example, we are going to use two tables. First one is customer, and second one is orders. So let me show you one by one all both the tables. So I'm writing here select star from Sharmit 1 slash customers. So if I hit enter, you can see it is printing the customer table record where we have three column: customer ID, first name and last name. Fine. Now same thing, if I run for the orders table, it will show the data for orders. Here we have customer ID, order date and delivery location. But if you focus on this table, you will see there is only 5 records. But in case of customer table, there were 10 records, right? So it means there are 5 records which is missing from this orders table. Or you can say there is no matching record for 5 records in orders table. Now the requirement is that we want to give priority to both the tables. We don't want to skip any data. It might be possible that there are some data which is not present in right table, or vice versa. Means there could be possibility that there are some data in right table which is not matching, for which there is no matching record in the left table. So that doesn't mean you have to show all the records whether it is whether there is any matching record for those data or not. Okay, if there is no matching record, in that case you can show the null or hyphens. So this is our first requirement. Now second requirement is that we want to show only those data whose customer ID is greater than 3 or lesser than 9. You can assume one scenario that this is the data for customer table, and the organization want to give a you can say offer only for those customer whose customer ID is greater than 3. Why? Because the top 3 customer has been already selected for other price, so we don't want to include them again. We want to include all the customer who is after whose customer ID is greater than 3. Or in case of 9 lesser than 9, we don't want to give any offer to the last two customers, so that's why we are skipping it. So we are interested only in this part. Okay, but that doesn't mean that if there is no order detail for these customer, in that case also, although it is totally a hypothetical situation, but you can consider this as an example. Like if there is any uh, customer lie between 3 and 8, then we have to give some offer, or we can offer them some discount, right? So that they can go and buy some products. Okay, so let's see how we can write this query. So for that, firstly you need to write select, and this time we are not going to use all the columns. Means as we are going to give priority to all the columns of the table, so we are going to use asterisk, because it will include all the uh, you can say all the fields from the both table. So you can simply pass it like this. In previous example we were using only the column name, right? So that approach is also fine, but if you want to include all the data, all the column from the table, then you can go with asterisk. After that, we need to decide from which table we want to pick the data. So we want to pick the data from customers table, customers as C1. Now we want to apply join. So just repeat the statement and it will answer what type of join you need. We want to give priority to both the tables. If there is no matching record in either of the table, it should show null. So with this statement itself, it is clear that we are going to use full outer join, because it is a combination of left join as well as right join. So we'll write full outer join on which table? I want to apply it for orders table. So I will write orders as O1. Now there could be one question why we are using alias, although we are going to directly use asterisk. because we are going to apply O1 condition, right, or on condition. So for that purpose I just include this alias. And I always recommend that whenever you are writing query, especially in case of join, keep this alias name. Otherwise you might get confused like what field is referring from which field, means which field are referring from which table. Okay, so that's why I always recommend to keep the alias name. Now here we will pass the condition. So I want to apply it for c1 dot customer underscore id equal o1 dot customer underscore id. So if I hit enter at this stage, it will show all the record. It gives the priority to all the both the table, and it shows all the record. And in case if there is no matching record, it is showing null. It could be possible that there are some data which is missing here. So in that case also it will show. Right now we don't have that missing record, but if there is any record which is present in right table, and for that record there is no matching record in left table, so in that case also it will show hyphens or null. Okay, so but this is not the final solution, because we were looking only for those customer who lies between 3 and 9. So how we can write this? So for this we will use the condition where clause. So just write where, and here you can mention c1 dot customer id and customer underscore id is greater than 3. And because we want another condition, right, if I hit enter at this stage, you will see it is including only the customer for which customer id is greater than 3, but we also want that it should be lesser than 9 as well. So for that case we will write another condition, and o1 dot customer id should be lesser than 9. So okay, seems we did something wrong. Let me check the data first, because right now it is showing only 2 record, but it should show more than 2 record, right? Because it should be where customer IDs should be lesser than. Oh, okay. Let me check. Repeat the query. Where customer ID is lesser than. So then it is showing only 2 records, 4 and 5. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see what we have changed. We just changed this. Select star from, then customer as C1, full outer join, orders as O1 on customer ID, and uh, customer ID equal customer ID from customer table equal to order ID, customer ID from order table, where C1 dot customer ID is greater than 3 and C1 dot customer ID is lesser than 9. So if I hit enter here, in this case it will show all the required data, 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, now there could be one question, why we are using full outer join when we are skipping the some of the records? Because it might be possible that the data which we are selecting, there could be something missing, right? So just to include those data we are using full outer join, and then condition we are applying in this way. Okay, so it is totally dependent on your requirement, what type of situation you are dealing with, how you are going to deal it with it, and what type of query you are using it. Because queries are something that save your time. If you are aware of joins, if you know how the combination will work, so in that case you can simply go and hit the query with join, and it will save your time. But if you are not aware of joins, then maybe you are trying some other ways to fetch the data, and that could be that might be some time taking process, right? So far, like, we have discussed various example related to joins, so I would recommend you to do more and more practice for joins, because joins is something that is very useful, especially in case of projects, if you are working somewhere with the projects, because in project there are multiple tables, and there would be more than 100 scenario where you need to utilize this joins in order to combine multiple tables and to fetch the data as per the conditions. So that's why I recommend you to go through all the session where we are covering the examples. And if you have not covered the syntax session, so firstly I recommend you to go through those syntax session, because if you are not aware of syntaxes, then it would be very difficult for you to understand which type of join we need to apply here. But if you know the syntax, and then if you walk through all the example related session, then I'm sure that you will learn more about the joins concept, and then after a good practice you will be able to create some queries by your own. Okay, so the best way to practice join is just go through the session, copy the query, run it in your on your own system, and after that you can customize it. Like, yes, these are the things that I have already executed, now I will customize it and try to get some other data. So that will help you. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this session. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.